since we're doing A Quiet Place, so should we make this a quiet podcast?
Oh, how quiet can we make it? An audio medium, you don't want to go too quiet, because it is the only thing they can't see us, they can't smell us, touch us, they can only hear us. So. Quiet Place, we're returning. Quiet Place, we're returning. Quiet Place Day 1, the third in the series now. I call it a trilogy, but it feels like it's not really so much a trilogy because this is...
I think they're just going to keep going and going.
Yeah, so like Quiet Place Part 1, or Quiet Place, the original one, is John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and their family. Got the deaf girl and the kids living in the farmhouse, and they're trying to evade just one or two of these monsters, real small scale. Then you get the middle one where we expand the world a little bit. We meet some new people and we travel around, but it is still the same nuclear family. And then in this one, totally new direction, and it's a prequel. We go in a totally different path from the old ones. You were expecting this departure?
The departure of Emily and John?
Well, yeah, just we're instead of doing making it a third one where we pick up, because the last one seemed to be like a pick or like a kind of almost a cliffhanger ending, and then we make a third Quiet Place movie, and it's not the continuation of that story. It is it's separate.
Yeah, I remember liking the first better than the second, so the fact that the third is completely new, I was completely okay with that.
You didn't care that they were going a different direction with the people.
Well, no, because I especially like this cast. And I actually didn't know until maybe a day or two beforehand that it wasn't Emily and John. I think I just assumed that it was. And then when I looked at the cast and I was like, oh my god, Lupita and I can't say, Nyong'o, I think. Right?
Lupita Nyong'o, yeah.
Yeah. So I love her, and I love everything that she was in, so I was so excited about this. And when Joseph Quinn was in this, I had no idea. I was a fangirl. So last...
Oh, okay. I don't know this gentleman.
I don't even know if I told you. Last Stranger Things, so this came out, around when your bachelor party was, because I remember, I watched it right before I went on the plane.
Oh, okay.
I binged that, and he was in that season, and I had such a crush on him. I love the season. He was my absolute favorite character.
Wait, is he the guy, the metal?
He had long hair.
Oh, the metal rock and roll guy.
The metal one.
I didn't realize that. He's a grown up in this. It's so weird.
Yeah. So I had such a crush on him. I was fangirling on him so bad. I loved him, and I remember I looked at his acting history, and he's fairly new, or at least he didn't have a lot of stuff out, and I'm like, oh man, I can't really watch anything more of this.
Yeah.
And then when I saw he was in this movie, I was like, oh my god, I finally get to see him again. So I was so excited.
I had no idea, because I knew you liked the original cast, and then you get the new cast coming in, I'm like, oh, maybe she's going to miss the old cast, but it just happened to be two actors you really wanted to see, so that helps.
Exactly, so it really could. And then a cat, so...
There's a cat? Oh, there is a cat. When New York City comes under attack from an alien invasion, a woman and other survivors try to find a way to safety. They soon learn that they must remain absolutely silent as the mysterious creatures are drawn to the slightest sound. 84% on Rotten Tomatoes with the critics, with a 73 audience, 6.8 on IMDb, and see some 7s and 8s on other places, 7s, 8s, 6s. So yeah, upper middle of the tier. I believe that's right around where the other two are. I think the other two are also mid 80s with the critics and similar with the audience. So they are, as a whole, a well-received franchise. And if you haven't seen Quiet Place Day 1, theaters currently... How was your theater going experience before we get into spoilers? You see it on a weekday, full, empty?
So I think it was opening day because it was on a Thursday, right? It was last Thursday.
Oh, yeah. You're right. We both saw it on opening day, actually. Oh, no, wait. No, did we see it? I think we might have saw it a week after it came out, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, really?
Because this is coming out a couple weeks after it came out, but... Yeah.
Oh, I thought it just came out last Thursday.
I think we're a little behind, actually.
Are you sure?
I think we're a little behind on everything. It came out... Oh, no, you're right. You're right, it did just come out. How did I see it? Wait,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's on opening day.
I thought it was a Wednesday, because I usually, because I saw it after work, and I always see a movie after work on a Wednesday, which is usually when I go in. But this week I went in on a Thursday, and so I saw the new movie, I usually see the week-old movie on the Wednesday, but no, this time, okay. All right, I'm back. I'm caught up. So, yes, you're right. You're right, this is actually new. This is good. We've been behind on other stuff, so we're caught up.
I would say my theater was half to 3/4 filled. It was pretty filled. It was opening day. And I remember telling Kyle, I was like, back in the day, this would have been a sold out movie. 7 o'clock on the day it opened, but I think like sold out theaters are a thing of the past. I don't remember now a movie being sold out opening day anymore.
I think the last thing would have been it has to be an event. So like maybe a Barbie or Oppenheimer last year would have been sold out, but that what else, like a gimmick, like maybe one of those Taylor Swift concerts would have gotten sold out on because they were playing like the Eras concert on movie screens for like a whole summer. So maybe some of those, but yeah, you're right. Regular movies. Horror movies, yeah, you're not going to sell out many shows anymore. But
yeah,
I wonder if the original.
So I would say it was like half to 3/4 filled. Someone brought their baby, which was kind of annoying because it's like any movie where where you have to just be quiet. Like you bring your baby to this movie.
No, that's actually
there's no sound to like mask that baby crying.
I was like, this is actually one of the worst. I remember the second one. Nicole was on, I think, the first two when we did the first Quiet Places review. But she not only did she not really like going to the theaters anymore, but the second Quiet Place when we went, it was a very full theater, and we had a bag crinkling child near us, like just a child who would frequently just reach into that Doritos bag or whatever and just like and I think he was self-conscious and aware he was doing it, but doing it so he would do it slowly, but that would just make it last longer and be more obvious, just like I'm like, oh, this is worse. Just grab it and be done. Like, oh my god. But no.
Yeah, we had people behind us who seemed like they were like shaking like their M&M box candy or something.
It's definitely more pronounced. And
sometimes you're like, is this part of the movie? Is this like a background noise, or is this actually someone like making noise behind me?
Oh, so one more before we go into this one. This is also the first one not written and directed, or I guess the other ones are co-written. John Krasinski and Brian Wood, Scott Beck, but this is the first one directed by Michael Sarnowski. This is his second film. His first film was Pig with Nicolas Cage that we enjoyed from a couple of years ago, and
no, I don't think I watched it, but I remember. Wait, I did watch it.
Oh, not only did you watch it, I believe it was in your top 5 that year. But we know how movie memory works, so that's and only a couple stick around. But spoilers now for A Quiet Place Day 1. So our main character, Sam, is a terminally ill cancer patient. She's living in hospice just outside of New York. And she lives with her cat, Frodo, as we said earlier. She's got the cat. And one day, one of the workers, the care workers there, Ruben, invites her to go and see like a show in Manhattan. It's like this marionette little puppet show thing. And that is when the inciting incident happens. It's Quiet Place Day 1, the first day. These creatures, these creatures from the earlier movies, I guess we really haven't talked about the actual creatures. They're Stranger Things-esque. These big Demigorgon looking guys.
Oh, Demigorgons.
Yeah,
I always call them
more like the Demi-Dogs, like the ones from the later Stranger Things seasons. But they come from the upside down looking kind of creatures, except for they actually come from the sky. And they are blind, they can't swim, but they are super sensitive to sound. And so Sam and the other survivors are trapped in this theater. And after we spend some time there, and eventually we just kind of follow Sam. We pick up later on Eric, the English law student, Joseph Quinn's character. And there's only a couple characters we're following around. It's mostly Sam and Eric. A little bit of more dialogue in this one. He gets learn some character backstory. And tense survival scenes trying to outrun the creatures and the ultimate goal is to get on this. There's like a little ferry that's going to take them off the island. And it's the one from the last one, Digimon Houston, that one actor from he's in the second in this one, and he's helping to get people off. So that's the goal: get off the island. And Jess, what'd you think of Quiet Place Day 1?
Oh, I loved it. I think I loved all the Quiet Places. It's just so.
I think so. Unique. I think you've loved all 3.
It's unique. It's fun to watch. It's definitely gripping. And they just shoot them so well. I think starting off in the movie, I think most everyone thought that the nurse was going to kind of be her partner throughout this movie, and then when he dies, I think we all like put our hand over our mouth and was like, "Oh my god, did that just really happen?" kind of thing.
You were expecting him to like kind of stick around for the movie,
like obviously you need a partner in these movies. You're not just doing this by yourself. But I thought that was going to be him. I really liked how it was shot in New York. It's so cool that you use the sounds of the city to to attract these monsters, then kind of know where you need to hide to get away from them. And then I think like the city's kind of in shambles, so there's a lot of flooding. So like worst case scenario, you can just swim in the subway trenches just to get rid of them in the water. But like even the fun things like making a car alarm go off to attract them to another area, or just all the different parts of New York. Like I really like how this was done in a city.
Yeah, I really like the city, the change in location and making it a totally different world. I think is the right choice, and I at first when we did the second one, I liked the second one because I liked like the characters a little bit more. It's still a really well made movie, but then at the end of that one, I had the feeling of like, are we just gonna keep going with this story? Because then it's gonna be less about then it's not gonna be about surviving the Quiet Place. Then it's gonna be about rebuilding society, because that's what all apocalypse shows eventually become. Like the what's the zombie one, Walking Dead. Like all those shows eventually become how do we like rebuild society with humans, whereas like the focus of Quiet Place movies is the Quiet Place monsters. And so if you are going forward, you can't like, you know, keep solving the problems and stuff, so you have to kind of find a new way to explore it. And this is perfect. You get a whole new setting, whole new, like you said, inventive ways, like the car alarms, the people shuffling in the streets. I love the scene where they're like the helicopter's coming over and they're like, all right, you got to meet at the port or whatever, and like everyone's like staying quiet, and just everyone's trying to like really trying to stay quiet, and like, but they're just too loud. They're just too loud. Like, yeah.
Isn't there a better? I mean, not that I would know what it is. But
exactly. Like how could you figure it out? But
how can you tell everyone what to do without verbally telling everyone what to do?
I know. That's why I liked it. I love the attempts at That's what these are That's what I thought the middle one was lacking the most. It's just the creative problem solving. This one has a lot more. Has a lot of that the first one had too. Where like I love when she figures out like when it's raining and she realizes, hey, we can talk for a second, and then you realize as a viewer, oh, I haven't heard anyone talk in like 45 minutes. Like you always forget that these movies are like half silent films, because you can't like you can do a little bit of miming. You can do like a little whispering in those quiet rooms, but like you really can't do much stuff.
And even whispering, you're just like, is this a good volume? Because you just really never. And then in New York, like anything could fall right next to you, or like anything could, like something could happen. That
it's so loud there. What did it say at the beginning? I liked it. This felt like almost a different movie entirely. Like the way at the beginning, it was like New York gives off 108 decibels at any given time, and it's just like that sound. It's like the honking and the just that hum, the city hum, and you're just like, from the very beginning, I'm like, oh wow, this feels like its own thing. It doesn't feel like, oh, here we go, we're back in the Quiet Place thing, and we're doing the same story again. It feels like a whole new thing, but it's still like clever and smart in its own movie. I like that we. Mm-hmm. Of the tense scenes, what was the one that you think worked out most for you?
The subway one, where
they
were, in the water, in the subway, trying to escape this monster. The monster knows exactly where they. So, premise is the subway flooded, so it's just a bunch of just dirty, mucky, icky rat water down there, and down there, the monster chasing after them. And they have to kind of just swim because the monsters can't go in water to escape it. And it's just a bunch of tense scenes where it's like, is the monster going to get them? Are they going to get out? That one.
I love when it dives and it's like when it's coming for them and you're like, oh, come on, a little faster. Like it is set up so well when it dives and it like. It just like all of a sudden just like dies like underwater, like chokes out. And it's like it's so satisfying watching those things get defeated because they're so just like destructive everywhere, and like there's no like redeeming qualities about them. They're just so monstrous. And then as soon as you see one like struggling in water and like flapping around, you're just like, yeah, fuck you. Like that was my favorite part of the second one, was just watching them like fall off the boats and be like, oh, like so satisfying watching them get defeated. I feel like in the first one. Because in the first one, they don't have that, do they? In the first one, they don't have that they drown in water or that they can't swim.
I don't think so. I think that was the new development in the second one. Honestly, I don't remember too much about the first movie. I need to rewatch it. It's been a while.
The first one, I do think is still... I think it's I'm trying to think. This one might be like they're all so different. They all have things I like and don't like about them. For me, they're all like 4-star movies. There's things that annoy me about all of them, but I like all of them by and large, and like I think they're clever. That's what I really like about them. It's just that they're clever. Like you have to problem solve all the time. I like I want to ask this one, like the human characters. The last two we had the same family dynamic, so in this one you got two actors you like. You like the angles. You hear I just want to go and get my pizza slice. I have cancer.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man, two actors that I love so much. Like, what is a better feeling than like two of your favorite people in a movie that the movie series that you've already been liking? Like, it felt like it was my birthday.
You really looked at it, like it was like, oh, like John Krasinski's not coming back, Emily Blunt's not going to be in this one, and then who comes in to replace them? It's two other actors you want to see, and they're interesting characters. I like I wish, what was his name? Do we actually see the other guy? Oh, wait, you're not going to remember. You're not going to remember the second one. If we see Joseph Quinn's character in the other one. Because in the other one, they go to we see on the island, whatever island they escape to, like, they've escaped to somewhere where the monsters can't get to. So,
yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to build off that. That's the thing, like, after that.
Oh.
You remember what I'm talking about?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know how you'd build off. I don't know.
And that's like
yeah, at the very end where they escape and they go somewhere else on the boat.
Right, at the end of this one, Lupita Nyong'o doesn't escape, but like he gets off on the boat, and that I don't remember if you remember him, the guy who the bald dude who kills the one guy because he's like freaking out in the stairwell kind of early on. Remember that one? It's like 30-45 minutes in.
Yes. I remember.
Yeah,
him.
I don't remember. He was in the second one. He like runs the island that Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt's kids get to in the other one, and he.
Oh really?
Yeah. So like he's like a connecting character in these two movies. So he's like. I guess like the whole thing is like if they make another Quiet Place movie, these things make money, so that's good news. Horror movies make money in a world where theaters don't really, it's hard to keep franchises going if they're not like the most popular Disney franchise. Like Inside Out 2 did pretty well, but other than that, the only things that still make money consistently are horror movies. And this has got what 100 million at the box office as of this after an opening weekend, so that's pretty solid. Where do you want to see them go from here? Do you want to see them go back to the core story? Would you do you want to see them go in a totally different location? What interests you about more Quiet Place?
I don't know. I really liked how this was brand new location, brand new actors, but same kind of rules. And I think at least I feel like I won the lottery ticket with me because again, it was my favorite people. So I'm optimistic that if they do this again, it will be even better. Because when you do a movie, you really like it, and then they kind of repeat it again. You're like, the first one was so much better. So I would be okay with it scrapping completely new and doing a whole new version. Because I don't know how much Joseph Quinn can do. He's definitely more of a side character because he was a scaredy cat. Like, I can't really see him taking the lead in something else.
Well, he could be like a side character that pops in, just like that one guy was, you don't remember from the other one, but he was a side character in that one. He's a side character in this one. Like, he could be in the background somewhere in the future.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be mad if he was in there as a completely new role, but not just like, oh, the creatures came back to this island, like continuation.
Oh, so yeah, you would want, because like technically this is the third one done in like the U.S. mid-Atlantic coast, because even though the other two aren't, like, the other two don't take place, they're more rural. At the end of the second one, they do end up on the island where this guy is. So this guy, it must be near New York is where they are in the other one. And so now in this one, they've been in New York. So like, I'm curious, like, what's going on in, like, Tokyo? What's going on in, like, Mexico City? Like, what's going on in, like, like, did these things land everywhere? Did all of the rest of the world respond the same way? Just like, what is that movie you guys surprisingly liked that's like this? Prey. Remember the movie Prey with the Native American girl who fights the big monster, the Predator monster?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the Predator movies, there's like 8 of those. There's a ton of those. And they're kind of like these Quiet Place movies where like they're not connected to each other, and they're not in the same time periods. They're not in the same anything. The only thing that ties them together is there's a predator monster that fights somebody, some character. It's not even the same type of people. Sometimes it's a little girl, sometimes it's prisoners, sometimes it's families. It's random. And like so, Quiet Place, you could do the same kind of thing. Like It's Quiet Place a month in, and we're in, you know, I don't know, a farm in Buenos Aires or something, and we're meeting these new characters there, and they're fighting the monsters in some new way. Would you like? I think that might be a better direction to go than, because otherwise, if you go in the same people, then you get then it's not about the monsters anymore. Then it's going to be about like, oh, like how do we rebuild society, and like that could be interesting, but I don't know. Do you have any interest in that, and seeing things out in this world outside of just the monsters?
No, I agree. I think a new location could be fun, like in the Amazon. Like, I don't know, something in space would have been.
Oh yeah, they have to find where the asteroids are coming from, because they are aliens. They're coming from somewhere.
Oh yeah, maybe like, yeah, find out where the source of it is, because it started with a big explosion, like a meteor or something. And then the monsters just appeared. So what if it's like the aliens who are sending these monsters? Like, who are they? Why are they doing?
What if we get one from like an alien point of view? Like we get one from them, and they're just like it's like a comedy. They get the thing. Hey, boss, we just got.
It's like What if it's like a reality show where they bet money on like who they think is gonna win and who they think wouldn't? Like, if I was an alien, I put all my money on the cat.
That's exactly. Well, the first time I saw this, I was like, I bet my first thought was like, not that these were random creatures randomly landing from like a meteor. I was like, oh, some other smart species sent them here to like, for some reason, to kill us or to entertain themselves or whatever. For whatever reason, I always thought like there's some smarter aliens like. That's what they made
it seem like in this movie, because it started with a big explosion. So it's not like...
Yeah, doesn't it seem planned?
They just kind of walked over here from the ocean. It's like they came from the explosion and they were all here.
Yeah, I think that from the other ones they come in like... I think we get that from the other ones, that they come from like a meteor. But like, you know, there's alien movies like you crash from a meteor and just like things show up. But I think, yeah, it feels like it's supposed to be like, oh, like... There's someone behind the scenes. Maybe an interesting one would be because they do this in some of like the Dawn of the Dead kind of movies, where it's like a government group, like the last of whatever government is trying to like figure out like how to stop this thing. So we have like, I don't know, a couple scientists, and we have like the military guy who's like, we gotta nuke them, and the scientists are like, no, we can't nuke them. We have to study them, and like, I don't know. And then you have like you have other characters in there, and they're all locked in a room or something. And then, like, there's creatures. The creatures are trying to get in. I don't know. There's just something different, but that still uses the Quiet Place monsters. You know. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Can we pivot and talk about the cat now?
Okay. What did you want to bring up about our boy the cat?
Love the cat. So obviously I'm a cat person. It's very rare. I honestly don't even know. I can't even think of a movie where like one of the main characters or main pieces of the movie is a cat. I mean, obviously there's like Marley and Me, there's a bunch of dog films, but
there's a lot of dog films.
Never any cat films. And this cat I was so attached to, like every moment where they kind of hinted that the cat might not make it or the cat might run away, I was like, you better not kill that cat. Like I would.
So you were invested in this cat. I actually did not think about it as much as definitely not as much as you did, but I did. You're right. I'm biased towards dogs. I didn't think about the cat like a dog, you know.
Oh no! I was so excited. Like again, I won the lottery ticket because it's my favorite animal as a lead, and I was just like, oh my god, is the cat gonna run away? Is a cat gonna run away? Is a cat gonna get eaten? Is a cat gonna meow? Is a cat gonna bite a rat and it's gonna screech and then it's gonna get eaten? Like, or is a cat gonna somehow save the day and like figure out, I don't know, somehow.
That's interesting. The whole time, I did actually think about the cat sometimes. You know what I thought about when it was in scenes where like everyone has to be quiet and the cat. I was thinking about a dog. You're right, because I was thinking. You're right. Dogs are always the friends in movies. There's always, like you said, a Marley and Me, or like they just had that Channing Tatum one with a dog. But
wasn't there just a dog movie that came out that was all about like the dog traveling around the world?
It was literally called like Dog. It was called like My Dog or like Dog Trip or like. But yeah. There was Nicole didn't I watch that stupid Strays movie where it was talking dogs? But like there isn't really. There's tons of talking dogs. There's really not that many talking cats. No. Right. Or if they are, they're like, it's like Garfield, and no one cares about that. Like, it's not like a, you know.
Yeah, but it's not like a real cat. Like, I want to see all the behind the scenes of this cat, like how they trained it, like when the cat, like, 'cause obviously cats are hard to train, and cats, like, just do what they want. So, like,
well, I think that's probably part of the
do?
reason in the old days why they didn't have cats in movies, because it was probably too hard. Because honestly, the truth is probably they had stand-in cat, and then they probably CG'd when they needed the cat to do certain things. Like, I'm sure they caught it.
Well, if they did, I'm sure there were scenes where, it was CGI'd or whatever, but you really couldn't tell. I was never like, oh, that cat looks fake right there.
Honestly, I think... Well, you've seen, like, how good, like, AI-generated videos are now. So, like, I think because things are so good, like, I think AI too, but, like, CGI, all, like, graphics are going to be so good and cheap in the near future that, like, they'll be able to make... You can make anything like that, and it will be, to us, seamless and not expensive.
But I am curious. Like, I wish there was a behind-the-scene, like, YouTube that just told us, like, how much of the cat was real, how much of it was fake. What did you do when the cat just wanted to sleep and you had to actually make it work and film? Like, how did you train it to walk, and, like, this, what it looked like? Like, I am so curious how it was like.
I have never thought of this. Work. Do you know if anyone... Have you seen anyone else on any, like, anything talking about this? Because I have not heard any... I'm obviously on a lot of movie communities, but no one has mentioned that the cat representation and the and just the...
These are my own thoughts.
These are my own thoughts. Well, yeah. Someone's got... I mean, the thing is, if someone's got to have... If you have them, that means someone else has them. Maybe not, maybe not a ton of people.
The cat lover community and, like, the horror movie community, like, that Venn diagram in the middle is who's talking about
It's a sliver. It's a tiny little sliver, but you guys are there.
I would say, like, out of the horror movie community, there are more cat people than there are dog people.
That might be true. It might be the type of entertainment and, like, personality that is appealing. Yeah, more of a...
Yeah, but I was so invested in this cat. So
did you fear for the cat? Like, you were like...
Yes, I was like...
You thought it could die? Like, or... You know,
I mean, there were so many scenes where, like, the cat ran away and you're like, oh, shit, is that the end for the cat? Or it's like... There was even that one, like, gripping scene where... Joseph Quinn tries to save the cat while, like, the monsters are eating flesh or whatever. And it's like...
Oh, yep.
Is he risking his life trying to save the cat? Is the cat going to, like, screech or, like, hiss or meow and then get itself eaten?
That's
like,
so interesting.
It seemed like the cat...
I trusted
knew
the cat.
Rules.
It really did. Like, but I think it was that's saying something like nature kind of thing. Like, a cat's an animal, so, like, it's gonna know when a predator shows up and how to behave much more than, like, because we have created such a society that we don't really, like, use our natural instincts anymore. We use our, human society instincts. So, like, when a monster shows up, we don't know what to do. But the cat's like, oh, this is every day. Like, I already live in a chaotic world that doesn't make sense to me. So this is just a new thing for me to deal with. I was thinking about, like, if it was like. I was thinking about if it was a dog, I'd be like, I'd actually be more worried if it was a dog, because dogs can't be quiet. They're slobbery and loud, and they even if they wanted to, they couldn't, and they would whine and be like, "Oh, I want to see you!" Like they would be killed immediately.
Oh yeah.
No, This Quiet Place is a movie made for cats, I suppose, and cat lovers.
Yeah.
What did I have? I had one other.
Yeah, I wanted one scene.
Oh, please.
Talk about.
Yeah,
so
go
obviously
ahead.
Everyone knows I have a huge crush on Joseph Quinn. When he just did, like, the crushiest of the crushes things, like that one scene where he knew her dream, or, like, one of her favorite memories was her dad playing piano, so he just recreated that for her and gave her, like, the pizza that she liked, and then
where did he get that pizza, by the way? Did they say?
I think he was walking outside and just found the pizza joint.
That's so interesting that any of them were able to still be open. Whatever. It's a minor.
Open. I think it was just.
He just found it, like, sitting.
Explosion.
Oh, it was just like.
It was just sitting out. It wasn't like someone actively selling pizza. It was just left over.
I did think about it. I was like, it does make sense. It was only a couple days or whatever. But I was like,
yeah.
Where did he get that? Like, whatever. Anyway.
No, it was left out for a couple days, and he just took it and he wrote, like, Patsy's or whatever the name was on it.
It was sweet.
And then he pretended like her dad was playing, and they were, like, at a full bar and everything,
Yeah.
and I was like, so nice.
I'm glad like the human moments worked for you in those ones. For like I thought they were like fine and like good solid actors. I didn't like fall in love with these characters. I thought they were solid. I thought they had good chemistry, like odd couple chemistry with each other, and so like that I like that. I like their meeting when he's like completely shell shocked and just like he can't like move, and she's like just go this, like she's just trying to like basic communication with them.
Like, literally go away.
but then they grow and they grow to listen and trust each other, and it's this hard world, so you can't you don't want to, you gotta stop and listen and
one other thing, mm-hmm. She is obviously a dying girl. She did not look dying to me the entire movie. Like I get,
you didn't think the scenes where they tried to make her look really thin and tired and you didn't work.
Maybe at the very end, but I still kind of feel like she looked more sick, not like actually dying. And the fact that she was surviving and like running around,
I guess. I like. No, that part didn't really. But I always do the adrenaline brain thing. I always think whenever I'm watching these movies, I'm like, when you really think your life's about to be on the line, like you get like almost a superhuman level of energy and strength for a short period of time because because at our core we are scared animals in the jungle. So like that instinct is still in us when we need it.
I get that. It was a very small nitpicky thing, just...
No, it was like me with the pizza. It was like, really? There's no cockroaches on it. There's no rubble. Like, there's not a little bit of concrete dust on there and some bugs. No? Okay, well.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are nitpicks to an otherwise sounds like positive review. Jess, do you recommend A Quiet Place Day 1?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be in my top 5.
That's a good point. I wonder... Was the first one out when we did this show, or was that pre this show? The second one...
it was 2018.
Oh, so it would have been right before we started.
Yeah.
Because I know the other one was on your top 5. I don't remember where, but obviously, like it's anything on the short horror list. I didn't even say. Yeah, I recommend this. It's. I like all of these movies. I think they're all flawed in different ways. Like I have different nitpicks on all of them, and I like different things about all of them. But the thing I like at the core that ties them all together is they're clever. They're all clever, and they try. And they're. What do I say about horror movies? I want you to be clever. I want you to stick to the rules. I want you to be clear. This has jump scares. I'm okay with jump scares as long as it is an earned, makes sense thing. It's not. You've seen the laziness. I don't have to get into it again. These are not lazy movies. These are smart, well thought out, effort-filled movies, and they work. Quiet Place Day 1 is 2 recommends from us, and yeah, keep making them. Make more in this series. Make more standalone ones. Try new things. I like the standalone. I think it's what we space, government, the rainforest, the pyramids. Why not do crazy things? Have them fighting off of the Eiffel Tower or something. I don't know. You could get creative. We are going to have a catch-up show coming up soon to talk about all the things that we saw that the other people that we did not see for each other. Whatever. We're going to catch up on the things that we've seen that we were not going to do entire reviews on. And then we have a couple summer movies, maybe some streaming things we'll get to. And if you have things to recommend to us, Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook, reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost. And you can email the show filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Also on YouTube, just search Films with the Women in My Life. All right, Jess. Thanks for being on for Quiet Place Day 1.
Always like reviewing Quiet Places.
Oh, yes. These are ones to look forward to. Till next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening and enjoy your movies.